Hello everybody, and welcome to the 260 subscriber special Chameleons. This is going to be a breakdown for episode 4 of Walking with Dinosaurs, Giant of the Skies. I guess the same as usual, thank you for getting me to this many subscribers, and enjoy the video. Although every episode other than Spirits of the Ice Forest features at least one named pterosaur, this is the only one that focuses on one as the main character. The dead order the Charis at the start is the largest practical model created for the entirety of Walking with Dinosaurs. Charis featured in the episode was Charis mesembrinus, which has now been reclassified as Tropiognathus mesembrinus. Charis was once a wastebasket taxa, its species found all around the world, which led to the idea that it was migratory. These species have now been separated into multiple different genera. It is very unlikely that Charis had sexual dimorphism, as what was thought to be different biological sexes within the same species was actually different genera from around the world. The highest estimates for Charis put its wingspan at 9 meters, not the 13 meters that the show claims, meaning it was not actually the biggest creature ever to fly, a title which belongs to either Hatzegopteryx or Quetzalcoatlus. When the Charis walks, it is cumbersome and unwieldy, but in reality pterosaurs are believed to have walked in a much more agile way. The wings of Charis and Tapajara fold upward while on the ground in the series, rather than backwards, like in reality, where they would have been backwards. Charis is shown skim feeding, which was an outdated theory that its snout crests would have served a purpose similar to a keel on a ship. In fact, Tropiognathus means keel jaw. The episode states that Charis could not fly in the rain, which was most likely not true. The Charis and Tapajara should have a much denser coating of pycnon fibers than is shown in the program. Both Charis and Tapajara lived 22 and 50 million years after the episode is set, respectively. At one point, Charis lands feet first, when, in reality, it would have landed on all 4 of its limbs. The species of Tapajara featured in the episode, T. imperator, has been reclassified into the related genus Tuperdactylus. Tapajara was most likely to be a forest-living frugivore, not a coastal piscivore. Tapajara should have longer legs and slightly smaller wings than is shown in the episode. Tapajara is shown having ridges on its crest, but in reality its crest would have been smooth. It is unlikely that Tapajara would have been sexually dimorphic. The head crest of T. imperator was actually much larger and more rounded than was depicted in the show. Basket taxon situation, Iguanodons all over the world were lumped into the genus Iguanodon. The North American Iguanodon in this episode has since been reclassified within a new genus, Dicotodon. Both Dicotodon and the European Iguanodon should be more strongly built and should have heftier forelimbs. The Iguanodon in this episode have more sloped backs than the flat backs they would have had in real life. The Iguanodons are stated as being the first dinosaurs to chew food, but in fact, the Heterodontosaurids, which lived around 60 million years before these Iguanodons, were the first dinosaurs to chew food. This scene of the Iguanodon on the beach took over 1 year to film and edit, as they had to get people to walk and then make all of the footprints on the beach, and then had to film it with the helicopter and edit it so that they walk precisely in with the footprints and don't move weirdly compared to the movement of the helicopter. It is based on the Dinosaur Ridge site, where the trackways of an ornithopod, possibly Eolambia, were found. This trackway is in modern-day Colorado. It is stated in the episode that the first flowering plants evolved in the early Cretaceous. If this script was written a few years ago rather than yesterday, I would have pointed out that the oldest known flowering plant was actually from the early Jurassic of China, but this has been reclassified as a conifer, a much older lineage of plants, meaning that this episode was in fact accurate. The European Iguanodon is still classified within the genus Iguanodon. Both iguanodonts should have inward-facing palms while walking. Polycanthus is depicted as living in both North America and Europe. This is due to the theory at the time that Hoplitosaurus from North America was a synonym of the British Polycanthus. Unlike the Iguanodonts, which were believed to be different species in the same genus, the Polycanthus were both believed to belong to Polycanthus foxii, hence them having the same design on both continents, although it appears that they have slight differences in the patterning, but the same coloration. This is made even more confusing, as in the American version of the episode, this creature is referred to as Gastonia. The head of the Polycanthus should be shorter, more triangular and beaked. Its legs are also too long compared to its body size. The Utahraptor is seen on the Isle of Wight in the episode, when it only occurred in Utah in the United States in reality. This is because Iguanodon and Polycanthus were both thought to be found in both North America and Europe, so it was speculated that Utahraptor would be found on both as well, as no dromaeosaurs were known from Bohemian Europe. But more recently, Ornithodesmus and an unidentified large dromaeosaur are known from mainland Europe during this time period. In 2021, Vectiraptor was discovered on the Isle of Wight in the Bohemian, where this segment is set. Utahraptor was not as well known in the late 90s, so the model was based on other dromaeosaurs, when in reality it was much bulkier than its close relatives and the model in the series. Just like all raptors, Utahraptor should have a full feather coating and no pronated hands. Utahraptor was up to 7 meters long at maximum, rather than the 5 meters maximum stated in the episode. Utahraptor lived 5 to 10 million years before the episode was set, but Vectiraptor lived at the exact time to appear in the episode. The Utahraptors are depicted hunting in a pack, a common trope in paleomedia, but it is incredibly unlikely. At most, they may have hunted in disorganized gangs, similarly to a Komodo dragon. Utahraptor is able to move its tongue in the program, but in real life, dinosaurs would have had immobile tongues, other than the closest related ones to birds, which may have included this. The fact that the Utahraptors hunt is unsuccessful references the fact that 1/3 of all hunts in real life are unsuccessful. The music from the scene where the Utahraptors hunt the Iguanodon is a modified version of the track Pterosaurus Lock Horns. Iguanodon is only known to Spain rather than the Isle of Wight, though there are possible enantiornithine teeth known from the Isle of Wight at the time this episode is set. Iguanodon is depicted with many modern bird features that real enantiornithines wouldn't have had, such as scaly legs, when in reality they would have been fully feathered. It also may not have had a tail fan, and if it did, it would not have been able to fan it. Iguanodon is shown nesting in trees, but enantiornithines are believed to have nested, similarly to megapods, on the ground. The episode accurately states that enantiornithines, such as Iguanodon and other birds, are dinosaurs, but it pushes the outdated narrative that birds outcompeted pterosaurs. This is symbolized at one point when the Iguanodon chase away the Charis male. Comparing screen time to an accuracy, this Plesiopleurodon is probably the least accurate creature in the entire series, as it appears, for no joke, 7 seconds. Plesiopleurodon lived 29 million years after the episode's setting. This is even more confusing in the American version, where it is referred to as Liapleurodon, which went extinct 28 million years before the episode's setting. Plesiopleurodon is just a recolored Liapleurodon, hence it has the same inaccuracies, the huge size, the lack of tail fluke, which carry over from the previous episode. Plesiopleurodon is actually a polycotyledon, a Cretaceous sister group to Leptoclidans, rather than a pliosaur like Liapleurodon, but it was named after Liapleurodon due to its similarities to it. This unidentified pterosaur, which may be Corkycephalus, doesn't have any unique inaccuracies, but I can combine two entries and talk about the inaccuracies shared by all pterosaurs in this series, which are that they have not enough pycnofibers and have pointed wings rather than rounded ones. They also fold inwards rather than backwards, but I've already pointed that out in this episode. The death of the old male begins the trend of the 4th episode of Impossible Pictures Productions being the saddest, a trend which is followed in Prehistoric Park and the first season of Primeval, as well as Walking with Beasts and the second season of Primeval to an extent. Join us next time when, for my 280th subscriber special, I break down my favourite episode of Walking Dinosaurs, the one set in Australia. It may say it was set in Antarctica, but it was actually set in Australia.